Good morning, youth staff. The purpose of this video is to have our training on inclusion, working with special needs children, and also managing special food dietary requirements. The first topic we're going to talk about today is inclusion. The Navy's policy of inclusion is to provide a safe place for all children, regardless of status. We here in Navy CYPs do not exclude children based off of their diagnosed disabilities. We work with children anywhere from autism to diabetic children to even those children who might need special requirements as far as handicap accessible programs. So one thing as a CYP professional, you must understand all of the policies and procedures of working with children who have special needs. In this area, we are near Portsmouth Naval. Within the Navy, there are only 2 Class 5 hospitals. That means these are hospitals that are equipped to work with anybody on the Exceptional Family Member Program up to a stage 5. Stage 5 being the most severe and stage 1 being the least severe. So the only 2 stage 5 hospitals in the Navy are here and in San Diego. So we will see a lot of different special needs within our program. So we must be prepared for that. Since I've been here in the shipyard, we have had lots of cases of autism. We have had a couple of cases of diabetic children. We had to give insulin and also giving children control medicine such as Ritalin and other Concerta and other things to help with ADHD and ADHD. So we have to be equipped and knowledgeable about all of those things. That's why, for one, most of our staff have to be MAT trained so we can deliver medicine at any time. We must know 5 rights every year. Other things we must understand is how to develop an inclusion support plan. An inclusion support plan takes all of the child's, not only to do things they need support with, but all of the things they have fun with, all the things that define that child, and that we must understand to develop an environment that they can be successful in. So a lot of you have went through the inclusion support training with KITS, and hopefully everybody knows what KIT is. KIT is included together. That's one of our online resources that we have. KIT provides us training. It also provides us support calls. So if we run into situations where we have to talk to someone about a child's behavior, we'll have what we call a support call, and we'll have the leads, directors, staff members, everybody on that call that we can try to find resources to help that child be successful in our environment. So understanding that we have a lot of resources when working with special needs and children, I want to make sure that you guys are aware of those things. Like, for one, we have training every year, MAT training, 5 rights. We have a resource in KIT. We have resources in our Inclusion Action Team. The Inclusion Action Team is a body of professionals at Portsmouth Naval that review information about each child with special needs. So another way to ensure that we are doing what we can and that we have the information from the parents and the health provider to make sure that child's successful in our environment. Children go through different continuums with their growth. At one stage, they might be at one level. At another time, they might be at a different level. I can use, for example, that everybody would know. There's a child who just left us last year. Her initials are CC. When CC got here, he was pulling things off the wall, kicking the wall, tearing up rooms, doing a lot of different things. But that was one step of his continuum. And then as he got older, as he got used to our environment, as working with that family, especially the mother, we were able to help him understand things that he needed to adjust, and then how we could support him on one end and how the parents can support him on another side. And when he left, he was one of our better, one of our most, I don't want to say better, but one of our children who were really exhibiting a lot of the behavior we wanted children to emulate. He was one of our star citizens. So it shows that providing children the correct environment and the correct parameters that each child can develop over a time span. So within special needs children, we have our support binders, and in our support binders, you can read at any time children's medications. Children, what the doctor recommends on what to do in certain different things. A lot of times we only have what we call medicines that life-saving, so like albuterol, EpiPens, things of that nature. We know we deliver those based off of certain signs for anaphylaxis reactions, or we might see a child that needs a breathing treatment because of different things. But then you also want to find out about other different medicines. We have children who have certain medicines that help with with calming them down or help with them so they won't have seizures. So what are those triggers? What are those things? We have some children who, if they have a blow to the head, then we have to make sure we have certain protocols that we have to do. So that book and those books we have inside of the two different programs are things you must read through. Um, Having to go and tell everybody what every child's condition is, that's something we should do. Every professional, and I stress the word professional, should be in this program going through every child's thing and reading over those things. Like, we should know who has what, when do they need to get it, where's the medication located at, because all medication is now inside of the classrooms. Where is it in the classrooms? Are we taking our medicine on the buses every time? Are we checking our medicine back in every day? So that way we don't have a situation where we say, well, hey, where's Johnny Sue's medicine at? We know that we have a protocol in place that the medicine gets to where it needs to be at all time, and that we're doing. Right now, we're not doing free flow, but if we ever get back to free flow, we have that code. We have the medicine over the walkie, what we call a code M, and we let them know that, hey, Johnny has moved from the STEM room to the library. So that medicine needs to get from the STEM room to the library and follow Johnny. So we have to have those protocols in place. And if you're new to the building, and we do have free flow, let me tell you what code M, I'm going to give more definition on code M. Code M is just basically a medicine move. If we have any free staff, they will go to wherever that location was. I might be in the social rec and say, hey, I need a code M to the social rec room, from the social rec room to the STEM room. You'll come into the room and say, code M? Yeah. CC, who's currently with us, Mr. Cook, I need to get his medicine moved from the social rec room to the STEM room. And all you would do is verify that Mr. Cook has moved into the STEM room, take his medicine from the social rec room, put it into the medicine box of the STEM room. So that way the medicine is always following the child. And that we're making sure that we know those medicines are where that child is at all times, especially albuterol and definitely especially EpiPens. So special needs, because we're doing video trainings, I don't want to give you the list of all of the children who have different medicines in our program or have different things that we need to be aware of because of PII and confidentiality and HIPAA rules. I want you to look over those books, and please have those books looked over within a couple of days of this video being out to everybody, so you do know who has what medicine and who has what medicine in what rooms. I think you guys have been very, very good with that, but continue along that path. One change we've learned from CNIC is that all packages had to go through the IET process prior to December of 2021. I don't care if you had the same medicine same packet over and over again. You've been with us for 4 years. It had to go through a renewal process and go through our IET board. CNIC has reduced that. They have said that now, if you know the process, if you understand what's going on, like we know what goes on with albuterol, we know what happens with an EpiPen. We've been through enough packets. We can tell you right now, this is missing this here. We need this here. We need these dates of administration that we don't no longer have to go through the IET process. We can review it, make sure it looks good, and then put it into our system. And that's what we've been doing the last couple of months. So we are coming up on renewals for a lot of packets for parents. So parents will be asking questions. Please defer those questions to myself, Ms. Shalonda, or Ms. Jackie, or Mr. Josh, so that way we can make sure those packets are in the correct order and they're put up in the correct place. That's step one of the training. Step two of the training, we're going to talk about dietary requirements. And I want to tell everybody what's the difference between a food dietary requirement and a food intolerance, and then a food preference. Those are three different things. Now, the first question you need to ask yourself when everybody talks about dietary: will consuming this food hurt the child as far as life-threatening? Like nuts. If you have a tree nut allergy, that's a food allergy. If your stomach gets upset because you drink milk, you won't die, but your stomach will be upset and make everybody else around you upset. That's a food intolerance. That's intolerance. Like your body doesn't process milk proteins correctly. But that's not something that will be life-threatening. Then you might be in such a situation like y'all know within my own family, my son and my daughter, where they have a preference where they don't eat beef or pork. Those are three different things. So we make sure we need to understand what's the difference between special dietary requirements. Then the correct form are given to the people with those things. If it's a situation where your body is affected to you might have life-threatening conditions, then that's a IET packet. If it's an intolerance or a food preference, we have a special form for that, where the parent fills out and says, "Hey, I do not want my child to consume this food or this liquid." Then that's what we will do. We will annotate also in our SIM system and in our forms that we post out throughout the building, because you'll know in every room we have a IAT, we call it a inclusion list, where it talks about every child in there and what things we have to be aware about. And in every kitchenette, we have a food preference form. Like, please do not give this child these foods, and it'll list what the parents have told us. Like, we will go on that form when we ever have a program out. We might see AP, no pork, no beef. So those things we'll understand that needs to be posted, and things that'll be up all throughout. They'll be up in the kitchenette area. Those special dietary requirements are for those who prepare foods to understand, hey, who do I have in our environment who cannot consume certain things? Because what we don't want to do is have that one person who likes to eat something and they know they can't have it, but they're still trying to eat it. Like, I have a relative, they're not supposed to have seafood, but they eat seafood. And they said, well, I'll just deal with the repercussions. We can't have the children going through that process. So those are two of the things I want to go over with everybody today. Special needs and dietary requirements. Please make sure you understand it. If you don't see one of the leads or the directors to talk about it, if you have not went through the KIT training on inclusion support planning, you need to get that training done. That training should be done by all professionals by the end of this month. Again, that is the KIT training on developing inclusion support plans. Ms. Londa will be checking to make sure all of those things are being done, and she can see what you've done in the system. So please make sure you've done those trainings by the end of the month, and let Ms. Londa know that you've done it. If you have not, please get on top of that. Again, if you have any questions or concerns about special needs children or any kind of dietary situations, please seek us out and let us know. Let us know what the questions you have. That way we can answer for you and answer for the rest of the staff. Again, also review over the special needs listing in your room so you know what children have what needs that staff need to be alerted to. All right. Thank you. Have a good day.